Hello from the bunker. Hi. Like most people in the United States, I'm kind of self-quarantining. I'm social distancing in my home. Um, it's kind of revealing that it has not really changed my life that much. I work from home anyway. I just basically can't go hang out at the coffee shop, which I try to do once or twice a week. The real difference here is that my wife is home. She's a teacher, so she was home last week for spring break, and they just kind of extended her spring break. What she thought was going to be another week, now it's going to be at least till the end of the month, maybe till the end of the year, because it's just one more month before they were going to be out anyway. So, maybe a month and a half, 6 weeks. She's kind of not really knowing what to do with herself. They're going to be doing like distance learning at her school, and they're still working all that out. So I'll be in here working, and she'll just kind of come and sit in a chair over here and just kind of be like, she doesn't know what to do with herself. But I've had a lot of requests, no, demands for a video on, they're demonetizing videos about this. So I'm just going to call it the event that's happening around us right now. It makes me think of Mitchell and Webb, but the event that's going on. I've had so many people very, what's the word I'm looking for? Aggressively. That's the word I'm looking for. In all kinds of platforms, like, why haven't you made a video about this yet? Why haven't you made a video? What are you waiting on? The problem is, first of all, I'm not really a news channel. I'm not really somebody that follows topical events necessarily. We have the podcast for that. My videos take a good, if I were to throw one together really quickly, a week to come out on Mondays. So there's already, kind of a delay in getting these things out. And this particular story is literally changing every single day. So I have really had to debate how exactly I'm going to cover this. How am I going to talk about this? But there's a video in the works. I'm finishing up the script today. Hopefully I will shoot it tomorrow. But even still, it's going to be, you'll see it when it comes out. I'm going to be like the whole time like, I don't know if this is true anymore by the time you watch this, because everything's changing so much. But I have tried to make the best of the, in-home imprisonment. So I found some fun things to do around the house. Here's some ideas for you guys. Things you can do around the house to keep yourselves occupied during the event. This has also just happened to coincide with a few different things. First of all, like I mentioned last time, I just lost my cat, and I was just kind of getting over that, and now this whole thing has happened. So the anxiety and stress level is still not quite come back down to normal. And on top of that, my birthday was this last weekend. Everything got shut down. I was originally going to schedule a party with friends and whatnot for this last Saturday, which was the actual day, but that was the day that they had scheduled the Greenville Avenue Parade here in Dallas, which is a big deal. Some friends of mine, we always get together and do that, so I didn't want to pile on top of that, so I scheduled my birthday thing for this weekend. Well, here in Dallas, I know it's kind of different everywhere, around the world, but here in Dallas, just yesterday, this happened yesterday. See, I can't even keep track anymore. They basically shut down all the restaurants and all the events, every bar, every music venue, everything shut down until further notice. It's so bizarre. So anyway, on top of all this, I didn't get a birthday party. I hear there are bigger problems in the world. So, but yeah, gyms got closed. I went and I worked out with my trainer yesterday, and the gym was empty. I actually had a parking spot. It was nice. But yeah, we finished working out, and I was kind of like, I guess we'll see if I come in. I come in on Mondays and Thursdays, but yeah, it got shut down, so that's done. It's really weird times. It's so weird right now. Oh, and the other thing this all coincided with is, for some reason, right now, this week here in Dallas anyway, it is like, if you look at the little weather app, it's just rain and storms as far as the eye can see. Look, see? If it'll focus. Right there. Rain and storms. I guess it ends on Tuesday now. Last time I looked, it was actually rain the whole time. It's actually getting down to the 30s on Friday. So on top of all this, it's cruddy weather. And also, I took some footage on my phone. I'll put it up here. Here in Dallas anyway, I don't know how regional this is, but there's these bugs called crane flies, sometimes called mayflies. And they look like giant mosquitoes, but every year at this time, just as the winter ends and it starts to warm up again, these things start swarming everywhere. Like literally, I can't open the back door just to let the dogs go outside for 10 seconds without one of these things flying in the house. And I was kind of freaked out by them at first when they first started showing up, when I first saw them, because they look like giant mosquitoes. But here's the interesting thing about crane flies. Seriously, they cannot bite you because they do not have mouths. They literally don't have mouths. They can't eat. They lay their eggs. They turn into larvae during the summer and whatnot. They, kind of rut in the ground and they eat up stuff, and then they go into hibernation, come out, they pupate or whatever, and they come out as these flies this time of year and just fly around and mate. It's just a crane fly orgy in my backyard. They're all just doing it and doing it and doing it well. And then once they're done, they lay their eggs and they die. Once they come out of the ground, which is the only time we see them, so we think this is the only time they exist. They exist year round just as, larvae and stuff, but they come out and they're alive for like 3 days. That's their only purpose, is to come out of the ground. They do their business, they lay their eggs, and they die. And then they're just dead everywhere, and other animals feed on them, and it becomes this whole feast for lizards. What does this have to do with self-isolation? I don't know. It's the opposite of self-isolation. It's party time for the crane flies. Jake, you all right? But yeah, so a video on this is coming out on Monday, so I don't want to talk too much about the event that's going on right now, other than once again, I'm in that situation where I've done a lot of research on a topic and it kind of changes the way I think about it, and not in a way that I would have preferred. This thing, you never know where things are going. That's kind of what this yesterday's video was all about, Monday's video. You never know where things are going to go. I think eventually this might spur some positive changes in our government and our policy and whatnot. I hope, but everything that I'm reading, everyone that I've talked to, I've actually done an interview with a guy who wrote a New York Times best-selling book about pandemics, so I'm going to have some clips from that. Everything that I'm hearing says it's going to get worse before it gets better, and it has the potential to get way, way worse. Like, this could be a generation-defining event. And the thing is, if you've been paying attention, there've been almost every single year, there's been another type of outbreak of some kind. There was Zika, there was chikungunya for a while, West Nile virus, SARS, MERS, avian flu, swine flu, H1N1. It keeps going. Every year there seems to be a new one. And there's always that kind of scare out there, and there's people talking about it in the media, and then it just kind of like fades away. We've never seen schools closing like this before. In our generation anyway. We've never seen restaurants closing. We've never seen the NBA suspending their series. we're seeing these extreme measures being taken, and a thoughtful person might say, there must be something else to this, even if you haven't like researched it yet, or even if you haven't really dug into it. A thoughtful person might say, wow, there must be something really to this, or they wouldn't have taken these extreme measures. There've been all these other things that have happened. Why this one, right? A not thoughtful person would say, oh, well, this is a big conspiracy and a big media thing. And I'm hearing just enough of that to make me kind of want there to be a plague, to be honest. This, as we've seen the stock market take a huge tumble, there's a reason for that. It's because there's so many people out there right now that are not going to be able to work. You know, a lot of us are able to work from home. Luckily, I'm one of them. A lot of people who work in offices, even teachers like my wife, there's solutions here. And in a way, we should be really thankful that this is happening when it's happening, when we have all this technology that makes this kind of thing possible. It actually could be a lot worse. But this is going to hurt really bad for a while. That's everything that I'm seeing. Now, obviously, there's potential for it to not be as bad. A lot of people say this is an overreaction. Something that I read that I thought was pretty poignant. You know, we will never know if we overreacted to this, but we will definitely know if we underreacted. So I'm kind of all for overreaction. I've also heard this called the big pause, which is a good way of putting it. It's like, let's just step back, get in your homes, hunker down, and ride this out. But the thing that's, and this is, again, something that I want to include in Monday's video, but I don't know exactly how to include it because, again, by the time that video comes out, all this may have changed. But right now, where we're sitting right now, the testing kits here in the United States still haven't gotten where they need to be. I'm seeing these stories from people who got sick, they went to their doctor, and the doctor had to like get the tests from the CDC or from from the state agency. The state agency didn't know where to get them from. Like, nobody knows what's going on. We were not remotely prepared for this. Basically, the test kits are just now starting to get out there. So we're seeing these numbers already doing sort of an exponential thing. Over the next few days, again, according to what I've been looking at, the numbers are going to absolutely skyrocket. Like, we are going to see suddenly these numbers through the roof because most of the people out there aren't being tested right now. It's only, people who are in the most vulnerable group who have been in contact with somebody. And we are seeing a lot of these cases pop up with people who have not been exposed to their knowledge to anybody who's been traveling or has been around anybody with this virus. So it's still very much not contained. It's still very much not controlled. And once we start really testing at volume, we're about to see it. Just prepare yourselves for things to get really bad really soon. And I would love to be wrong. Greatest day in the world if it turns out that I'm wrong. But it's looking like this is going to hit really hard, really soon. And we're not ready for it. So you don't need all the toilet paper. You don't need all the pasta and whatever. Thankfully, so far anyway, our supply chains have been functioning, and that's going to be okay. But just stay in your homes. Don't be a hero, and take this seriously. I don't know how many. I would want to think that if you're watching my channel, you're one of the people out there that gets it and understands that this is kind of all we can do right now. And it's really, I'll talk about this in the video on Monday. It's not really about like keeping yourself from getting sick. It's about preventing hospitals from being overrun. Because the death rate might not be that high, but the hospitalization rate is kind of high. It's kind of high. And there's only so many hospital beds out there. So I'm really thinking hard, and I'm open to any suggestions that anybody might put in the comments here about ways that I can kind of use my platform or my reach to raise money or point people in ways that they can help each other out, because we're going to really need to come together and help each other out in the next month. Maybe, this might be going on till August or something. This is going to go on for a very long time. We are just at the beginning of it. get caught up on some book reading, get caught up on some TV shows you've been wanting to watch. I've been thinking about maybe I'll start doing some live streams and stuff. Maybe I do not play games. I know nothing about gaming, but it might be kind of fun if you guys want to see me like go in there and stumble around and do video games and stuff. I'm even thinking about that. But more than ever, we're going to need to help each other out, I guess is where I'm going with that somehow. So, in our neighborhood, actually, some fun things that have happened. Because today's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way, to everyone. Some people in my neighborhood did like a shamrock hunt for the kids. So we had people put shamrocks. Hey, buddy. Put shamrocks in their windows, like drawings of shamrocks, and kids were going around taking pictures of it and not collecting anything, but just kind of playing shamrock hunt. We got on our Facebook group and we said, hey, if there are any seniors or people who are vulnerable or not able to get out, let us know. We'll go fetch stuff for you. We're going to have to do a lot of that. And we're going to have to be doing that for a while. And maybe some good could come of this. Maybe some community can grow out of it. There's always that possibility. So that's where I am right now. I'm working on this video. And hopefully, like I said, it won't be completely out of date by the time it comes out. But, and I got, not that you can normally tell, but I got the Invisalign. I'm not really done with it, but I've been through the whole thing. I've been through 20 of these things, and they had to take the little buttons off. And they took an impression for the next round. I'm going to have to do a little refinement, so I'm not completely done yet. But it's kind of nice for a while, for right now anyway. It's kind of like I got normal teeth again. And they're a little bit straighter. I've actually been looking at some of the older videos. I think they are a little bit straighter. It still bugs me that this tooth is turning colors, though. They're going to have to put a cap on it eventually. I was at the dentist's office literally for 3 hours the other day while they were doing that and cleaning and everything. And then the next day, of course, I had this giant headache the entire day. And the whole time I was like, is this a symptom? Is this a symptom? Am I okay? It's not a symptom. I'm fine now. Anyway, this is my little catch up. You guys be safe. Take this seriously, stay home, connect with family and friends on the internet and on the phone and whatnot. Just help each other out. Let's pull together and we'll get through this. We will get through this. This will be the defining thing of 2020, I think. But I think we'll come out hopefully stronger on the other side. Maybe a little bit smarter. I hope a lot of people smarten up over this. But anyway. Video coming out on Monday. You'll hear more about it, but take care of yourselves. And, yeah. Love you guys. Peace.